Back in the Olympics of 1972 Munich, Germany, BMW had the task of having to come up with support cars, support vehicles for the marathon runners. But BMW, being BMW, always excessive and overthinking everything, they were like, we can't get these marathon runners sick. If we want to have internal combustion engine cars running side by side these people for so many miles and so many hours, all the fumes that come out of the exhaust system could have an effect on these runners and their breathing. So BMW thought, why don't we create an electric vehicle from an already existing car? So they went to the 2 Series, the two-door 1600 code car, which was called 1602 because of being a two-door BMW, and they ripped out the engine and the transmission and all of that, and they replaced it with trays and trays of regular battery all hooked up to one another to create BMW's first ever electric car. While the BMW car manufacturing has been hard at work making some random electric vehicles every other weekend, the motorcycle brand of BMW has been pretty stagnant and quiet over the years. BMW's first ever electric scooter was the 2009 C1E, which was based off of the C1 scooter that was available a decade even before the C1E came out, and nobody generally liked the way that scooter looked or the way that scooter operated. It was a scooter, but instead of a bench seat like this one, you actually had a car seat on it with a 3-point seat belt and a roof over your head. So everybody was like, why? Why should I buy this over just buying a small electric car? Fast forwarding 10 years and you get this bike from BMW, the 2022 BMW CE04, an all-electric scooter that is belt-driven and has a single-sided swing arm and so many other options and amenities on this, and that's what we're gonna be doing today. I'm gonna go wheel to wheel and everything in between and dissect this scooter, everything that it offers, and see all the so-and-so cutting-edge technology that BMW has put into this. Then we're gonna get it out on the road and ride it around and see how it works. And then I'm gonna quantify my thoughts and give this electric scooter an Emmy score. Let's start with the design of this scooter. It's as though the BMW engineers working on this scooter did not really know what a motorcycle should look like, and somebody just described them over the phone what it should, and that's what they came up with. They had this idea that a scooter shouldn't look boring and lame and like scooters that have not changed since the 60s. They wanted something new, not so minimal in style, but something very futuristic for sure. And this is what they came up with. This super long wheelbase scooter that sits super low and the batteries are almost at the very bottom of it, helping you maneuver around the busy streets of your city. The wheelbase of this motorcycle is almost an entire foot longer than your average crotch rockets. In fact, BMW's S1000RR, which is BMW's perhaps most famous motorcycle, is a foot shorter than this scooter. This bike also comes with smart adaptive headlights, which means when you change incline up and down, the LEDs kind of aim, like they're like gyroscopic almost. They aim down if you're going uphill and they aim up if you're going downhill, always maintaining a specific line of light that does not blind people or does not go so low that you can't see the road. So that's a pretty welcome technology on a scooter, especially if you live in a city like Seattle or San Francisco, where they are built into hills and all the streets are sloped really up or down. This technology can really help you. BMW engineers love flying buttresses so much that not only did they give you a pair down here, perhaps for functional reasons, but they even give you one up here where the BMW logo is mounted. Since you are going to be moving at supersonic speeds, I think you need as many flying buttresses as they can give you. Now, BMW knows what they are giving you is high quality and it's really good and it's worth bragging about. And that's why they didn't miss a chance to write or show BMW words or logos around this motorcycle. In fact, I counted, there are 10 places where BMW has left some sort of signature on this motorcycle. The first one is right here, full color, full quality, exactly what you find on the hood of a car is right here, BMW. The other one is down here, BMW Motorrad or motorcycle. And the next one stamped into the plastic is right up here above the headlight. And the next one's down here, stamped onto the plastic cover of the electric motor, BMW. About 10 inches away from that one, you have another BMW stamped into the plastic right here. You have another one stamped into the seat. You have another one stamped right here on the handlebar, and another one right behind it on the actual screen, BMW. And then you have another BMW logo down here, and another BMW sticker on the fairing down here. Another feature of the CE04 is its rear wheel and that it is a single-sided swing arm motorcycle. I love when manufacturers do that. I think single-sided swing arm is superior in every way to a regular swing arm. It used to be reserved just for the very expensive bikes, usually performance bikes, but this one is a BMW scooter, sub $15,000, and it's got it going. Now you might ask, well, why did they give this motorcycle a single-sided swing arm and then they went for this minimal, really cheap looking rim? Shouldn't single-sided swing arms be a place to showcase a beautiful piece of art back here? Well, that might be true based on what we've seen so far, because all the high-end motorcycles only had single-sided swing arms. But BMW is trying a new thing where they're putting a single-sided swing arm on a relatively budget-looking wheel. And I don't think there is anything wrong with that. You see, this bike is gonna be used in environments that might induce dents, dings, scratches all over this bike. It's gonna be parked in really busy urban areas, and I think this is still a wise choice BMW made. And in case during the day you are a Tesla driver and at night a scooter warrior and you can't live your life without a giant screen staring at you as you ride around, well, BMW has given you a 10.25-inch TFT full color screen here that resembles that of in every other BMW car. It's now on your scooter, and that's a good thing. BMW has vast access to technology that are used in their cars, and they can easily import that into their motorcycle branch, which is one of the benefits of being a massive, rich company. To activate the screen, you just have to tap on the button and the screen comes to life. And to manipulate the screen, you can use what BMW calls the Wonder Wheel. And it's essentially this one. Not only does it move like a wheel would, but you can click it in or click it out, and that does the right and left function, up and down, right and left. With gloves on, I prefer this a lot more than the tiny little joysticks on some other models. I think this Wonder Wheel is a pretty welcome design choice here, and I think somebody who actually rides a scooter or a motorcycle designed this rather than a book-smart person who has never gotten on a motorcycle before. The layout of the screen is this really cool futuristic look, and you can see this, the amount of charge that is left on your motorcycle is displayed in this very futuristic look. I really like the overall design and the feeling of the screen. I think if you want to do a TFT screen, you should do it this way, and I invite the Japanese manufacturers to come and take a look at how a screen should be done. Now, as far as the amenities that are provided to you on the scooter, on its basic model, you can't really have anything other than a cell phone holder that's here. It's fanned, so when you put your phone and it's charging and it overheats, it can cool it down. It does have an electronic opener. You push this button and you can hear the electronic latch activate. And then the cell phone compartment is open. There is a USB-C port here, and again, as I said, a fan in there. When you plug in your phone to this motorcycle, you can use the navigation and music and all of that up on the screen. And on the right, on the other side, is where you have the charge port. You simply just grab it and open it. There is no elegant way of opening that. You just yank on it and it opens up. And if you want a 12-volt battery output, you would just flip this latch up, and there it is. And let me show you where currently the cable is at in case you want to charge it on the go. If you know your day and you know that you're not going to run out of charge anytime soon, you can leave the charge port at home and use the space as a storage space, and I'm going to show you where that is. For the main storage, you come on this side of the scooter and there is a plastic button here hooked to another electronic latch. You push it and the storage opens up. It's big enough for an average size helmet. If the shell's not too big, it could fit in here. And it has the cable for the charge. This one in particular hooks into the wall outlet. And if you want to use this cable, it will take roughly 4.5 hours to fully charge the battery on this scooter. Now, that shouldn't be a problem, because if you plan ahead and you know your schedule, you can just plug this in before you go to bed and you wake up to a full battery. Let's see if my helmet fits in this storage. Now, my helmet does have this whole contraption up front to be able to mount my GoPro to it, but let's see if it works. My helmet doesn't fit, but maybe yours does. Now, what are the options and the colors available on this scooter? In 2022, which is the year of this particular motorcycle, you have this white, or you can go with the gray. If you go with the gray, you can also add an additional avant-garde package to it, which is another couple $100, and that gives you some orange accents around the gray motorcycle. I'll show you a picture of that on the screen. And as far as the options on this motorcycle, you can opt in two packages. One is the comfort package, which this motorcycle has, contains a grip heater and this hump here as a backrest or a divider between the passenger and the rider. And you can opt into the premium package, which gives you ABS Pro, the smart adaptive front headlights, seat heater, and a couple of other items. Now, let's not forget to give a shout out to BMW Motorcycles of Seattle, where they have allowed me to borrow this 2022 CE04 scooter to thoroughly review it for you. Good news, this bike is currently on sale, so if you do live nearby and are interested in owning one of these yourself, reach out to BMW Motorcycles of Seattle for more information. And now let's take this scooter out on the road and see what it's made of. Let's see how this scooter actually works. Ugh. All right, how to start this is you push this button to wake the bike up. You hold the brake in, you push this start button, and you're there. The range on this bike is claimed to be around 80 miles, which is not too far off from what I've been experiencing in reality. It is very close to that range. And it's quite fast. Here, let me actually give the acceleration of this bike a try. Let's go to one of these streets. Let's see how this goes, okay? From zero, from a standstill almost. All right, let's go. Whoa! Jeez! This thing is fast! Gosh! So if you do want to charge it using a wall outlet, it takes 4.5 hours, but if you go to fast charging stations, or if you have the system set up at home, the suspensions don't really soak up that much bump. I mean, this road looks terrible too, but anyways, fast charging, 0 to 80%. On the D-rated model, it's 65 minutes. What is a D-rated model? BMW, in certain regions of the world, offers you a D-rated version of this motorcycle, which is essentially everything is the same except everything is detuned. And when you do that, a lot of local regulations and laws lift the license mandate on the bike. You don't have to have a license anymore for the motorcycle, simply because it's, you know, weak in a sense. This one, however, is not the D-rated version, so you do need a driver's license, at least in the US, to ride this around. So that's what BMW does, D-rating, which is pretty much a cool, it's a pretty cool concept, I think. So the regen is on, and it stops on its own without braking, and then gets going again when you accelerate, just like, oh my god, let's try the bumps here. I don't think it's any less comfortable than your average motorcycle anyways. Cars are a little better when it comes to suspensions. Obviously, they soak it up better. They have a lot more real estate to soak up the bumps. This one, it's still pretty good. As far as the modes go, you have 3 modes default, not optional. You always get them with every trim of this motorcycle. Those are the road, rain, and eco modes. I'm not going to go into details of how they differ from each other, but they always play with smoothness of power delivery and acceleration and all those. The 4th mode that this motorcycle does have and the rest of them don't, you have to pay extra, is the dynamic mode. Let's see if we can go into that one. How do you change modes? I think you go left. Navigation, media, telephone. Nope, none of that. How do you change mode, BMW? Does it not have a hey BMW, how do you change mode? Oh, it has the BMW star button too, which you can assign to anything. It's like your favorite button. You can assign it to anything you want, and it'll do that. Oh yeah, this is zippy. Oh, mode button. I'm blind. Mode button is right here. You push that and then you can go, oh perfect, you can change modes on the go even if you have the throttle open. So that's pretty good. Oh yeah, dynamic mode has increased my brake regeneracy. My brake regen. Man, I love this thing. Oh my god, this thing is zippy. Man, that wheelbase now comes to your rescue, because on any other motorcycle, if the acceleration is this fast, you're gonna wheelie all over the place. Let's do it again. Let's do it again. This is too fun. Okay, so 0, ready, go. Oh! Holy moly, this is crazy. Let's see the turn radius. This is probably a pretty dangerous area to do that because so much debris on the ground, but that was pretty good. That was pretty good. I'm pretty bad at riding this bike. It's my first time getting on it, but still, it did really great turning. Oh my god, let's pull one more time. I'm addicted to this thing. Holy moly, this thing is fast. Gosh, this is so good. The battery percentage has dropped only like 3%. All the riding that I did and all these hard pulls that I'm doing, oh my god, this thing is fun. I love it. Price wise, it's on sale right now, at least at the dealership I have gotten this from, which is BMW Motorcycles of Seattle. And this thing is like $11,000 some dollars, which is a bargain. I mean, consider that the Vespa right now is $7,500, $8,000, and it doesn't offer you half the fun that this bike has. That's fun in other ways, but this one, man, I really love the way this feels. Electric motorcycles, I have nothing against them. I love them. A lot of people do have a lot against electric bikes. They don't like them. They don't like deviation from their traditions. But I don't mind. This is a fantastic scooter. I love everything about it. The design is unique. The power delivery is perfect. Reliability wise, it's electric. And it's zippy around town. Man, everything about it is just great. And now on to the Emmy score for the 2022 BMW CE04. In the commuter category, the CE's riding position could not be more comfortable. It is upright and the seat is very cushiony. Instead of foot pegs, you have a literal footwell like a car. The handlebar is in line with your chest, further contributing to a great commute riding position. The OEM windscreen is small but mighty and deflects a lot of the wind. This earns the CE04 a 10 out of 10 in riding comfort. In the fuel range / features, we will have to talk about the electric range. CE04's range is claimed to be around 80 miles, but that comes with a lot of caveats. You must ride very responsibly and the roads shouldn't be steep, and the weather shouldn't be too cold or too hot, and you must not weigh too much, and so on and so forth. In reality, I pulled a lot of hard pulls, and the bike by the end of my ride had traveled 6 miles, losing 10% of its charge. If I extrapolate from this, it should get a realistic 60 miles range, which compared to other internal combustion chamber bikes is laughable, but amongst other electric motorcycles, it isn't a bad figure at all. For example, the Piaggio 1, which is a rival electric scooter, gets only 34 miles on a single charge, so the BMW gets twice as many miles. At the end of the day, those who buy this scooter may not even travel 60 miles a week. Just remember to plug it in every night and you should be okay with 99% of your daily commute. The screen displays the charge accurately, eliminating any ambiguities as to how much charge you've left, and it even calculates estimated miles to an empty charge so you can plan ahead. All of that combined with variable drive modes that can conserve charge even further, you got yourself a top-of-the-line scooter in the electric category. This gives the CE04 a 3 out of 10 in the fuel range / features. As far as the commute-specific tech goes, this BMW is filled to the brim with all kinds of crazy stuff. It charges your phone, you can pair your phone screen onto the scooter screen to display the GPS or skip to the next song. It even has a 12-volt outlet already designed into the bike, so you don't have to route an extra cord from the battery and zip tie to the frame of the bike in case you want to plug in your heated jacket or whatnot. It is noiseless so that you don't have to sit in traffic on top of a loud exhaust. It generates no heat like a crotch rocket would. And being electric, you spend none of your hard-earned cash on the inflated gas prices. It is fully automatic, so you don't have to feather a clutch in busy traffics, causing finger fatigue, and it even brakes for you if you enable the regen. It has grip and seat heaters, and it will keep you nice and toasty on those colder commutes. It is literally the perfect commuter scooter. This gets the CE04 a 10 out of 10 in the commute-specific tech and features. Storage is plentiful, more than all other electric scooters would offer, and it gets an 8 out of 10. Adventure bikes with 2 massive bucket storages mounted on both sides of the bike often get a better score here, but this scooter getting 8 out of 10 is a really good score. A good commuter bike should be cost-effective, reliable, and have a strong dealership network. The CE04 is priced higher than other electric scooters, but the rival electric scooters do not offer cool gadgets or design choices like the BMW does, so I guess it's just fair. The closest rival is Piaggio 1 from Piaggio, which is less than half the price but far less than half as cool as this BMW is, in my opinion. So you pay for what you get. Reliability is something to have to observe over time, as this scooter has not been around long enough to know how reliable it is. BMW car has many dealerships around, but not the motorcycle branch of BMW. BMW motorcycle dealers are few and far in between, but most major cities do have one BMW motorcycles dealers, somewhere in them, but again, nowhere near the frequency of Honda or Yamaha dealers, for example. This gives the CE04 a 5 out of 10 in affordability, reliability, and dealership support category. This gives CE04 an amazing total score of 36 out of 50 points for the commuter category. Now on to the performance/dope factor category. Electric scooters like the BMW do not really stand much chance in the performance or dope factor categories because they are not really performance oriented and because their electric philosophy can be polarizing. Some people will love that and some people will hate that. In the race riding position category, the CE04's riding position, although was a 10 out of 10 in comfort and urban settings for street riding, it isn't racetrack oriented at all, and no one in the right mind would probably want to take this to any competitive events anyways. It is upright with higher handlebars, your feet are positioned straight down instead of pushed back, all creating a not so tucked in position. This earns the CE04 a 1 out of 10 in the race riding position. The horsepower/torque figures aren't much. They definitely get the job done that the scooter was designed for, but they are not competitive figures, especially compared to internal combustion chamber bikes. The acceleration though is mad good for being 2.6 seconds 0 to 30 miles. Because it's an electric bike, you really feel that electric torque. This earns the CE04 a 2 out of 10. Some of you are wondering how I calculate horsepower/torque category score. I simply add up the horsepower and torque numbers and divide the sum by 2, which gets me the horsepower/torque average. If the average is 0 to 25, it gets a 1, 26 to 50 gets a 2, and so on and so forth. For this bike, the average is 32.85, which is what gives it a 2 out of 10. At a little over 500 pounds, the CE04 is possibly the heaviest electric scooter out there. Since my score considers a 375 pound or lighter bike a 10 out of 10 and every increment of 25 pounds deduct a score, the CE04 at 509 pounds gets a 4 out of 10 in the weight category. Regarding the racetrack-oriented ride race features, you get ABS and traction control, and that's about it. CE04 gets a 2 out of 10. As for the CE04's design choices and marketplace, it is a very unique looking scooter, and quite frankly, I really like the modern design of this bike. If you were to get an average electric vehicle driver and wanted to convince them to get on an electric scooter, they would probably be far more likely to pick this BMW over an electric Vespa or a Chinese electric scooter with typos in its brand spelling. Combined with the BMW badges all over this bike, bringing along with it the luxurious reputation of their cars into this scooter, it will be of great help to make this one stand out compared to cheaper brands. But it is pretty expensive at retail MSRP of $12,500. So as far as electric scooters go, this BMW is top of the line, but it is a scooter at the end of the day, so it's not really amongst the most popular modes of two-wheel transportation when it comes to motorcycle enthusiasts. This overall earns the BMW a 6 out of 10 for the overall design and marketplace. This gives the 2022 BMW CE04 a total score of 15 out of 50 in the performance/dope factor category, and it sits here on the table compared to the rest of the scooters I have reviewed so far. BMW has created possibly the best electric scooter out there. The design is sharp, creature comfort amenities are there, the parts and service support is pretty good, and if BMW can figure out how to price this scooter a bit more reasonably, and increase the range a little over 80 to 120 miles of range per every single charge, you have got yourself world's best mode of urban transportation out there, and I would pick this over any other motorcycle for inner city errands that I have to run, hands down. Good job, BMW.